talking about the fights that you want. You're mentioning Thurman, Porter, Garcia, Ugas. Unfortunately, those fights might be a little tough to make because they are with PBC and tied up with Fox and Showtime. On the zone side, who realistically looks like you could make a fight at welterweight? I know Jesse Vargas had a fight with Mikey. Even though he lost that fight, he did come down to 147 pounds. Is someone like him likely, who's already won a world title, who's fought big marquee names, as someone to let your presence know that you're there and you're now taking out veterans at welterweight?
Here's the thing about Jesse. He's a really cool guy and he's a friend of mine. So I would probably not want to fight him. I'm not scared of him or anything like that, but just out of respect for him. But I mean, it is a sport, and if they ever offer it to me, I'll look at my options first. But if it's the only way to go, then I mean, no hard feelings. We both know it's a sport, so I mean, I'm definitely open to a fight with him. He's a very good he's a veteran, like you said. He's had a world title before. He's fought Manny Pacquiao and all that stuff. He has a great resume. And but other than that, yeah, that's pretty much all I know from the zone. Who else does the zone have?
I'm trying to think. Obviously, you're not going to fight Mikey. You know,
That on Twitter. I wasn't even fight Mikey. I'm like, oh, I wonder why.
yeah, it's it's hard to think. And I don't think Kell Brook can make 147 pounds anymore. I would say Kell Brook would be an excellent fight, but he's at 154.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that, but that would have been a good fight to make as well.
All right, Virgil. Thank you, man. I appreciate it and enjoy this victory.
And no problem. Thank you.
Thanks, Marcos. All right, next we have our dear friend Gail Falkenthal, and unmute her right now. We are ready, Gail.
Congratulations, Virgil. Thanks so much. Tell us a little about what the hell happened with Jack Reese and what was going on. It was a little difficult to figure out what he thought he was seeing that looked, frankly, to a lot of us to be legal. What was the interaction like? How did you guys leave it by the end of the fight?
So basically, I mean, what he told me was that when I spun him, I mean, I spun him, turned him, but at the same time, he was kind of coming towards me, and I moved out the way. So it looked like I kind of forced him into it, but I just used his momentum against him. And he turned around. No, well, he had his back to me. And I waited. Obviously, I'm not going to hit him when he's faced away from me. And the referee didn't say anything yet. So I'm like, okay, so we're going to keep going. They say don't stop until the referee says stop, which is why when he turned back around, I let my punches go. But, I mean, even if you notice, if you pay attention, I didn't throw with everything I had. Just in case something happens, I knock him down or I knock him out, and the referee said I wasn't supposed to hit him. I didn't want nothing controversial to happen, so even then I still played it safe. But he spoke to me in the locker room about it, and no words, everything's fine.
Well, safe to say that Jack might have been a little rusty too after being out of the ring so long, so we'll give him a pass for that one. Speaking of that and the spinning and so forth, you adjusted quite a bit with your footwork and angles trying to get at Vargas. Was this an attempt to try to find some vulnerability in him to get him knocked down? He did take some tremendous shots, and without a crowd, they were extremely audible. Was that the goal? At times you were incredibly mobile in there trying to get around him.
Yeah. I think I was kind of trying to, in a way, try to prove to people I'm not a flat-footed fighter. And some people say that, oh, he's flat-footed, he's gonna get beat by anyone who just uses their feet or whatever. That was just a little taste of what I can do that I haven't needed to do. I could have done that to that guy all day, but that's not what I needed to do. I needed to keep him out the entire time. I didn't want to get timed and get hit or something. So I stuck to my game plan. I showed a little what I could do just to be free in there, And I mean, other than that, yeah, that's all that was.
And finally, following up, Albert asked you a little bit earlier, not having Robert in the corner. How was it having your dad back after him being out of the corner for a while?
I mean, it's great. He's always giving me advice in the corner, regardless if he's the chief or not. But he's the one that's giving me the mitts pretty much 90% of the time. He's the one in my corner when I sparred, along with Hector Beltran, who was also in the corner when I fought today. And those guys know me the best. I've known, well, I've known my dad all my life, obviously, with my dad. I've known Hector for a long time too, since I was an amateur, and they've been in my corner this whole time. So I mean, the chemistry's there, and we know each other, we know what we expect, and yeah.
And have you heard from Robert since the end of the fight?
Not yet. I haven't had a chance to look at my phone yet.
Okay. And Gabe, a question to you, if you want to answer. How does the Golden Boy team feel about how things went tonight? Your first outing, I mean, things had to be very odd, not the normal routine for you guys. How do you rate tonight's card from your end?
We'd like to, touch base and see how everything went out internally and do a full report with everyone on the ground who was part of it. But right now, we can tell you it was a 10 out of 10 for us. It was a really good event. There was an issue, obviously, with the co-main event, but these things happen. You saw what happened with the Robert Garcia situation. We took care of it. We found a solution. So what this shows is that Golden Boy can deliver competitive, good fights as long as it's done correctly and in such a way that is safe for everyone involved. So we're very happy on behalf of everyone at Golden Boy.
I only have one complaint. Did you really have to show us Oscar getting that nasty swab up his nose? I mean, come on.
As our leader, our CEO, he's got to set the example,
I guess, but man, I don't know that we had to see that. That was ugly. Thank you very much, Virgil. Look forward to seeing you back again, and thank you, Gabe.
Thank you very much. And we'll have our last question or our last speaker, Abraham Gonzalez, and then we'll end.
Hey, Virgil, congratulations on your win again.
Hey, thank you, bro.
So do you think that because he was so difficult in there that the left hook to the body wasn't available as you may have wanted to land it earlier in the fight?
You know what? I kind of knew that there's certain fighters that you can just tell how their defenses are and how they carry themselves, that I wasn't really gonna land it too often. I had to go to the other side. I had to go from the front, and you just got to improvise. This is what I work on in the gym. You can't just be good at one thing. You got to be able to do everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you're a guy that you just keep growing. It's not that you're fat. It's just that you're growing. No, seriously, like you're growing. You're a muscular guy. 147 as you eat the pizza, right? At 147. Is that realistically a weight class that you think that you can stick to within the next 12, 18 months? Or do you think that 154 may very well be the class within the next 2 years?
I can definitely stay at 147 for a while. I was at 140, 141 in the amateurs for like 5 years.
Okay.
It's not that big of a deal. I am growing, but I also just got into this division like a year ago. So I should have no problem making this weight.
Okay, and I put out an article earlier this week because I've been kind of following you since Belasco days when you were fighting in that theater and you were handling your business. And I was telling people that that you were the next guy, and I tweeted out earlier that I think, me personally, a fight between you and Thurman is styles make fights. That would be the perfect fight. What do you think of that fight?
Honestly, that's the fight that I've been wanting for maybe like 2 years already. Like you said, I feel like the styles meshed up really good. Some styles don't work good. They're boring. But me and Thurman, our styles, they complement each other. You get me? And why not make the fight? It'd be a good fight, a good money fight for the promoters. It would be fan-friendly fight as well.
Okay, and then I just wanted to leave you. I saw Dennis Ugas tweeted out, "Good luck and success tonight for the future of sports." Vergil Ortiz. What's your reaction to a fellow 147 that could possibly be your opponent, as Marcos mentioned earlier, down the road?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot, to be honest. I mean, Ugas is a very good fighter at 147. Like I said, he's very underrated. I feel like he's in there in the top 3, including the champions. Very skilled, very talented. And, he's a very humble guy. He's probably not a fighter that I look up to fighting wise, but just the way he carries himself. You know, that's kind of like what I aim to be.
And lastly, I know that 2020 we're almost it's crazy to say, but we're almost at the end of it. Do you think that not the next fight, but the 2021 fights, those are the big fights that you want to see fought in that period? Like, because obviously 2020 it may not happen this year, but is 2021 the target year that you say, no kidding, this is the year that I'm gonna fight all the big names?
Yeah, that's 2021 is looking like that year that we're expecting. You know, those guys are only getting older. I'm getting stronger, smarter, faster every day, getting bigger. I think that they're making a mistake by not fighting me now. You know, if they want the best chance to beat me, it would be now. But I still feel like I can beat them. And the longer they wait, the more that their chance diminishes. It gets smaller, because I'm gonna be the best in boxing one day, and that's that's just a fact.
I believe it. Thank you, Vergil, for your time.
Thanks, Abraham. Perfect. We'll just give some final words from Vergil before we conclude.
I was okay. You put me on the spot. Thank you guys for always supporting me. If it wasn't for you guys, the fans wouldn't know about us. So, we would just look like machines out there that fight and get paid, and that's it. It's really you guys. It's you guys that help us connect with the people, help them get to know us better. We're human beings as well. And, I appreciate that. There's sides to boxing. There's a promoter, there's a business side, there's the fighting side, obviously. And then there's the reporters and all that stuff. There's nothing more I can say about that. I'm thankful for you guys. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Vergil. That concludes our post-fight virtual roundtable. We thank you all for joining us. We will see you on August 28th with our 12-round lightweight fight between Jorge Linares and Javier Fortuna. We're going to have a great undercard that we announce this coming week. So thank you for joining us. Thank you to Vergil. Thank you to his whole team. And we'll see you